Listen up, because what I'm about to share could be the next massive breakout in crypto. The project's name is Intuition, ticker symbol Trust. And believe me when I say this, everyone is sleeping on it. But not for long. So what is Intuition? At first glance, you might think it's just another blockchain. But no, this project is attempting something way bigger. They're building a decentralized knowledge network. Imagine a world where every relationship, every reputation, and every claim about reality can be stored on-chain, verified, and connected. That's Intuition. A system where trust isn't just a word, it's a digital asset. Think about how much of our world runs on trust. You trust reviews before you buy. You trust influencers when they recommend coins. You trust data when you trade. But here's the problem. All that trust is centralized, fragile, and easily manipulated. Fake accounts, paid reviews, rug pulls, scammers. The internet is drowning in noise. And here's where Intuition steps in. They're creating a trust layer for Web3, powered by graph-like data and cryptographic signatures. Instead of blindly believing what someone posts, you can verify it. Instead of following hype, you can literally measure trustworthiness. The token? Trust. And it's not just some random meme ticker. This token is the fuel of the system, rewarding people who add reliable data, punishing spam, and enabling a new kind of economy around credibility. Now let's talk about why people are hyped. First, the team. These aren't random anonymous devs. We're talking about people with backgrounds in distributed systems, knowledge graphs, and blockchain scaling. The kind of minds who can actually deliver. Second, the timing. The world right now is desperate for trust online. AI is generating fake news, deepfakes are everywhere, bots dominate social media. If there was ever a moment for a project like Intuition, it's now. And here's the kicker, the presale. Right now, only early believers are able to get in. Tokens are going for cents and allocations are limited. Already whales are circling, and smaller investors are scrambling not to miss out. If you've ever missed early entries like Chainlink, Graph, or even Solana, this is giving off that same exact energy. Stick with me, because in part 2, I'm going to dive deeper into the mechanics of Intuition, how the trust token works, and why this could explode into one of the most disruptive projects of the year. Welcome back. Now that you know the basics of Intuition and the power of trust, let's break down how this actually works, and why the tokenomics are designed to send this project into orbit. At its core, Intuition is about relationships of information. Every claim, every reputation score, every connection is like a data point in a giant verifiable network. This isn't just about crypto transactions, this is about creating the web of trust for the entire digital world. So how does the trust token fit into this? Simple. It's the incentive layer. Whenever someone contributes information, verifies data, or builds new applications on top of Intuition, they're rewarded in trust. The more valuable and reliable the data, the more they earn. And just like that, data becomes a commodity, but one backed by reputation, not just speculation. Now imagine the possibilities. Decentralized social media where followers aren't bots, but verified relationships. DeFi protocols where you don't just check collateral, but also trust ratings of counterparties. NFT marketplaces where art authenticity is verifiable through linked trust graphs. Even AI systems could plug into Intuition to separate fact from fiction. And this is where the hype really heats up. Intuition is not trying to replace Ethereum, Solana, or Bitcoin. It's a layer of meaning, trust, and credibility that can plug into all of them. It's infrastructure like an oracle, but for human trust. If Chainlink became a multi-billion-dollar project by being the layer of truth for prices, imagine what Intuition could become by being the layer of truth for everything else. Tokenomics breakdown. The presale is only releasing a tiny percentage of supply, about 2.5%. That means scarcity from day one. The initial price ranges around 0.07 to 0.085, with the listing expected to be significantly higher. That's the kind of setup early investors dream about. Limited allocation, strong vesting for insiders, and a real utility token that actually gets used. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Intuition is building not just for crypto nerds, they're targeting the mainstream. Social networks, businesses, identity systems, even governments could use this framework. And in a world collapsing under misinformation and AI fakery, solutions like this aren't optional. They're inevitable. So what happens when trust gets listed? You know the drill. Hype meets scarcity, and early investors rush to secure positions. Analysts are already speculating about 10x, 20x, even 50x potential if adoption kicks in. And let's not forget, the crypto market is driven by narratives. The narrative of trust in the age of AI chaos is one of the strongest narratives we've ever seen. Don't go anywhere because in part 3, I'm going to reveal why intuition could be the dark horse of this entire cycle, the risks you need to watch out for, and the strategy that early adopters are using to maximize gains. All right, final part, and this is where it gets really exciting. Let's talk about why intuition could be the dark horse of this cycle and what you should watch out for before diving in. First, the upside. History shows us that the biggest winners in crypto are the projects that solve real problems.
Bitcoin solved money without banks.
Ethereum solved programmable contracts. Chainlink solved external data feeds. Intuition is solving trust itself. And that's not just another problem. It's the foundation of everything. Second, the timing. We're entering an era of AI-driven chaos. Deepfakes, fake articles, synthetic voices. It's getting harder every day to know what's real. People are desperate for tools to help them separate truth from lies. Governments are already panicking. Social platforms are drowning. And businesses are losing billions to fraud. That's the perfect storm for intuition to explode. But of course, no project is without risk. Delivery is the first. Can the team actually build this at scale? It's ambitious. Second, adoption. Will developers and platforms actually integrate intuition? Without adoption, even the best tech can stagnate. And finally, token speculation. Early pre-sales often pump hard, but they can also dump if the hype fades. That's why strategy matters. So what's the smart move? The whales are already locking in pre-sale allocations because they know scarcity will drive demand later. Smaller investors are spreading entries, getting into pre-sale if possible, but also preparing to scoop dips after listing. And the boldest ones? They're not just investing. They're planning to build on top of intuition because the ecosystem rewards builders directly. Here's the bottom line. Intuition could become one of the defining projects of the 2025-2026 bull run. If it succeeds, it won't just be another coin that pumped. It will be the trust layer that every other crypto plugs into. The potential here is massive. So ask yourself, do you want to look back in a year and say, I saw intuition when it was just launching, but I ignored it? Or do you want to say, I was there early, I trusted my intuition, and I got in before the world woke up? Because remember, in crypto, the biggest gains don't go to those who follow the herd. They go to those who spot the narrative before it becomes obvious. And right now, the narrative of trust, of intuition, of the trust token, is just beginning. This could be your chance to catch lightning in a bottle. But the question is, will you trust your intuition?